journey through forgotten voices. Today we'll face the echoes of languages that once shaped the world, myth and memory. So find a quiet place and let your mind sleep across deserts, ruins, and fading symbols. We are not just exploring history tonight, we are listening to the ghosts of human voices. The first to speak language was Sumerian. Sumerian in Mesopotamia, modern day Iraq. Sumerian. The first to speak, the first of all, in silence, 3,100 beyond the Christ, until 2000 BCE. Well, the Sumerian language was the first world's written language. Sumerian wasn't related to any known language family. It's what linguists call an isolate language, and after disappeared or died, it was still studied by the scholars for centuries, kind of like Latin now. Good. The next one is Hittite. Well, Hittite language in the region of Anatolia, modern day Turkey, 1600 BCE. It was written in cuneiform tablets. The Hittites left an epikerchief of clay tablets with cuneiform writings. When linguists cracked it, they realized Hittite was one of the earliest Indo-European languages, a clue to the linguistic DNA of most Europe and India. Next, Etruscan. Italy's secret tongue, 800 BCE. Central Italy, before Rome went full Latin, the Etruscans ruled the show. We can read their alphabet, but can't understand much of it, because there are not many chronics. Chronicles and very hard to decipher the Etruscan language, and it's still studied by the linguists. Etruscan language. Next, Elamite. In western modern day Iran, I will point here, Elamite, Persia's forgotten script, 2700 to 300 BCE. In modern day western Iran, Elamite coexists with Akkadian and Old Persian. It was a script, a curvy unique version of the cuneiform that nobody else used. Mysterious, elegant, and still partly undeciphered. Next is linear A. Here, the unsolved code of the Minoan Crete in the island of Crete, in the island of Crete, in the Aegean Sea, 1800 BC. The linear A, the ultimate linguistic mystery. We can read linear B used by the Magians, but linear A remains uncracked. It might not even be Indo-European. Archaeologists are still pulling their hair out over it. Good. Next, Gothic. The lost tongue of the Goths, from 3rd to 9th century CE. The spread was in Europe from Ukraine to Spain in different groups, smaller or bigger groups across all the Europe. A Germanic language that just proved it's like Old English. Weird cousin who went wandering with Visigoths and never came back. We know that Visigoths, they settled even in Iberian Peninsula and northern Africa. So, good estimate. Next, we're gonna go to Far East in China, and there was a language, a very mysterious one, entitled Tocharian. The desert Indo-European language. The region was in western China, 400 to 900 CE. Yep, Indo-Europeans in China? It seems so. The Tocharians looked European spoken Indo-European language and left behind a colored Buddhist text. Then they vanished like a linguistic mirage. Tocharians. Next, in the Australia, well, specifically Tasmania, the Tasmanian language, well, was erased by colonizations in 1800. The region, Tasmania, spoken by indigenous Tasmanians, these languages were wiped out by the genocide and cultural destruction. Only fragments remained, but not all deciphered. Let's return to Europe. Next, Norn. Well, what is Norn? The Viking echo. Well, mostly in the northern part of Europe and in Scotland, Norn language extinct in the 19th century. A Norse language that clung to the Scottish islands long after the Vikings were gone. The last known speaker died in 1800, and all that's left are just some names and places. Good. Next, again in Turkey, the Phrygian language I will trace here like a arrow. Phrygian. Phrygian language, the forgotten language of King Midas. 1200 to 500, 1200 BCE to 500 CE. Region Central Anatolia, modern Turkey. The exact place of Hittite language. Claim to fame, King Midas was Phrygian. The Phrygians once rivaled Greeks in the ancient world. We can partially read it thanks to inscriptions, and it sounds weirdly close to Greek language. That's very quite intriguing fact. Almost like a musical remix of Greek language. When Greece and Rome took over, Phrygian got quietly swept out under the imperial rug. Next, we return to Scotland, and the next forgotten language is Pictish. The Dado tongue of Scotland, 300 to 900 CE. Region Northern Scotland, Pictish. This is a C. Carved on mysterious standing stones with symbols. No one fully understands the right meanings. The Picts were the original painted people of Scotland, tattooed ones. Their language remains a total enigma, possibly Celtic, maybe, possibly something far older. It faded after Gaelic took over, leaving just cryptic rock art like ancient emojis. Pictish. The next is Hurrian language. Hurrian. Here, on northern Mesopotamia, modern day Iran, Iraq, this area here. A linguistic isolate language with links to Urartu and maybe even Caucasus. The period was 2300 BCE until 1200 BCE. Hurrian was once spoken across mighty kingdoms that tangled with Assyrians. When their cities fell, the Hurrian words went silent. Though whispers of them survive in mythological texts like the Epic of Gilgamesh. Well, back then, every language was a world. Even a language, when dies, a entire universe disappears, but something always remains. A word, another tongue, a story retold, a melody that still hums beneath our breath. Thank you for journeying through time with me, and may the voices of the past whisper sweetly in your dreams, and of course remind you that silence is never truly empty. Thank you very much for watching, and until until next time, I wish you all